All right, I want to welcome on my next guest. We've got Julie Donaldson, Senior Vice President of Media and Content for the Washington football team. Julie, has everything going? Football's it's getting here quicker than people realize.
Yeah, finally. I feel like it's been so long in seeing this coming. We haven't seen the team together since the end of the season. And then, of course, everybody's stuck at home during COVID and you can't watch any sports because they just aren't out there.
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to see baseball come back, NBA come back, and now football coming back, see the guys on the field. And I'll tell you, they are so excited to be back with their buddies and their teammates as well.
So what's the vibe there? The guys just ready to play and ready for the season to go?
Yeah, a lot of them, especially as they were going through their COVID testing, they weren't allowed to be outside. They weren't allowed to go to gyms because you had to make sure that they're safe and taken care of. So finally they get there on the field. They're like, it's good to get some wind in our lungs, to be able to joke around with each other and have that camaraderie that they've missed for so long. But yeah, look, there's going to be no preseason. So it's going to be a very long training camp. Right now they're treating it as if in their mini camps. They're taking it slow. Helmets can go on the 13th. So then we'll really amp it up.
Cool. And so I want to kind of talk about your new role, because last time we talked, different place, different office. Now you're in a new role. How did this come together? How did you go from Bethesda to Ashburn?
Yeah, it came up pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's been really amazing. This isn't a job that I put myself up for, but when I did get the call, I was a little skeptical. I said, I'm not sure this is the right thing for me. And so I made sure I did my homework to know what answer was it going to be, yes or no. But once I did, it was very clear that this was something I just couldn't turn down. I had to take the opportunity. And so far it's been better than I could have imagined. It really, really has. There's a lot of good things to be done here. There's a lot of great people to work with. And we're just so looking forward to kind of putting everything behind, get back to football and really create some good product and some good content going forward.
And I saw you guys have been doing a little bit more than I guess they were doing last year during training camp. A lot of like live streams. Can you talk about a little bit about that? What kind of came together with all that with you and Santana?
You do like a little bit, and it's like really like a little bit this much. Look, we know that fans are so hungry for content. They are so hungry to have some sort of connection with the team that they love. And you haven't been able to have that. And they can't come out to training camps. Normally you could come out and be able to see them and get the autographs. So we really wanted to make sure that we connected the content the best we can, the most we can to the fans, to bring them into it, to show them what they can't see behind the scenes. So we've already been up and running with training camp shows. We have 2 a day, 9 a.m. and 2:30. And then also we're bringing you a whole bunch of television shows. You're going to be inundated with television shows that are coming up as soon as we get, our studio set. They're the right way. They're being reimagined, rethought,
awesome.
And really recreative. So I think the fans are going to love it.
That's awesome. And then speaking of teams, so used to be known by a different name for a very long time, rebranded. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think a lot of people maybe thought that the new future name would be here sooner, but we're putting more time into it to kind of think it out.
Yeah, I think you have to take your time.
Yeah.
Look, most people all considered the old name that they've had for about 100 years there as something to be proud of, as a term of endearment. But, over the last few years, it's become a bit divisive. And so, they wanted to make sure what they go forward with is going to be very thoughtful. It's going to be very inclusive. It's going to make sure the fans are behind it and can get behind it for so many years to come. The community behind it, the sponsors behind it, something that everyone can be proud of. And in order to do that, you have to take your time. You have to make sure you get it right. But they didn't want that lingering over. So for the time being, Washington football is what it is. I think that's the smart way to go. And it says, look, we're just going to get to the game of football.
Those helmets were awesome. I saw them yesterday with the taking the sticker off. Those were incredible. And so I saw that you guys are taking a lot of inquiries from fans if they have ideas. Have there been any interesting suggestions that kind of caught your attention, or are you not really looking at that now?
Well, there's tons. Like we created a website because, again, we really want the fans that I think have felt a bit disconnected over the years, and kind of maybe felt that they weren't appreciated as much. We wanted to completely change all that. We want to be transparent with them. So we created a website called The Journey where they can go in and put their input in to see what do they want this name to be? What will they be proud to represent with it? In the first few days, we had over 4,000 intakes. Wow. It's a lot of information to go over. I can't tell you I'm going through it myself, but there is a crew of people that are making sure they go through it, they hear it, and they get this right.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Has anybody brought anything to you like, hey, you're never going to believe what this guy said? Or is it just kind of like, hey, just do it for a couple of weeks and then bring me the best few ones?
Yeah, look, people get a little creative out there with it. But, it's okay to have fun with it. There's some that are really smart. The thing is you want it to signify what this team stands for. You don't want it to just be a name. You want it to have a meaning behind that name, something to be proud of. And also, look, we're in our nation's capital. I think it has to represent something of that.
So I got a name that you guys have not gotten yet. Nobody's gonna pitch it.
Okay.
The Washington Wolf Blitzers. He lives here too. He can be the mascot. Put him on the jerseys. everybody wins.
I think we'd have to check with CNN if that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that might
Look,
be an issue.
I love Wolf. Who doesn't love Wolf? We see
Yeah,
him around all the time. Very gracious guy. I'm not sure they'll be naming the team after him,
no,
but he might not argue against
no.
it if that was the case.
The defensive line, that could be their nicknames, the Wolf Blitzers. But
Oh, I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So, but yeah,
Next
that's
time I
interesting.
talk to John Allen, I'll mention it to him.
Absolutely. Tell him, Deron Payne, Chase Young got behind it. I think Chase Young's on board. That's awesome. And then, so with the team this year, so training camp's kind of going on right now, a little bit different than last year. No preseason. Regular season is, what, 5-6 weeks away. What can fans expect when the season kicks off with this young team?
I mean, it's going to be fast and furious, right? Like you have a lot of the guys like Adrian Petersons, the Ryan Kerrigans, and those that are on the team that are saying, look, all right, it's not that big of a deal. They didn't want a longer preseason, but they do appreciate getting a few reps in that third game. That was important to get warmed up a little bit before the season starts. But for the younger guys, I mean, it's going to be, hello, welcome to the league. Here you go. Because we know no matter how hard you go in practice, you can't really simulate the real live game action. And that's just going to be something that everybody across the board, every rookie across the board is just going to have to adjust to. But hopefully it'll see how you do your draft class and catch on quick.
Absolutely. And speaking of Haskins, so you can tell he's been putting in all this work in his offseason. What do you kind of see from him in terms of just like his confidence, like a different kind of mindset than you saw last year?
Oh, entirely different. And, I've known Dwayne before, when he was moving from New Jersey, when he first came over to her to go to Bullis. So I've seen the maturation with him year after year after year. But I think this is the biggest growth that I've seen in him. He's more comfortable in his skin, who he is. He has that confidence. He knows going into this season, the team is his. The job is his. It's his to lose. And so I think he's taking that seriously. You see how he's working on his body, what he's putting into his body, the way that he, recoups after a workout. It's on a different level. It's on the level that says, you know what, I am going to try my best to be that franchise quarterback.
And then I saw with Alex Smith finally getting healthy, getting in there, whatever his role may be. Do you think that kind of just another voice in the locker room is just a good way for Dwayne to just move forward and having him in his corner?
Look, it's well documented what he did with Pat Mahomes, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He did all right. Yeah.
Dwayne's a smart guy. I want to say kid, but he's a smart man.
Yeah.
He understands what Alex Smith can bring. And even if look, the story of Alex is absolutely outstanding, amazing, mind-blowing. Everybody is going to be rooting for him. But whether or not he gets on the field, that doesn't really matter about the impact he's going to have on Dwayne Haskins Jr. and Kyle Allen. Both of them are young quarterbacks. And he's somebody who's not selfish. He wants to play, yes. He's made that very clear. But also he's going to be a good team player. He's going to help coach them up on what to do, how to go about your day, and how to be a better quarterback. So in that regard, you're winning with him no matter what.
And then speaking of Chase Young, seeing him up close, has he exceeded your expectations from what you thought he could do on day one?
Yeah, the first time I saw him is quite impressive. I mean, he really is. When fans get to see him and what he can bring to a team, like he's going to back it up. All that hype, all that excitement of being number 2 overall. We had discussions today on whether it's too early to say he's going to go into Hall of Fame. But I mean, if he improves on just what he did in college, and you anticipate that he does, because he's not as technically savvy as maybe a Nick or Joey Bosa coming out, but he has more athletic ability. So put that into context, and you can expect him to go make a run for Defensive Player of the Year and really be off to a great career.
Absolutely. Which game are you looking forward to the most this year?
Week 1. Let's just go get out there. The Eagles. I'm putting together my broadcast crew. Hopefully going to be able to announce who's going to be joining me
cool.
soon. But, we're doing what we haven't done before. A female has not been in that spot before. And it's not lost on me the magnitude and the responsibility that comes with that by being that first. And hopefully opening the door to say, you know what, like we don't even have to think about this. It's who's best for the job is going to get it. But yeah, I'm really excited to see, get those nerves out. And I'm going to be like the rookies, coming in for week 1. It's just let's get it going. And then just we're up and running for the season.
I have a question. Has Muriel Bowser text you saying, hey, this city's ours, right?
No, but look, of course, everybody wants, when it comes to a new stadium, they want it to go back to the old RFK place, but that land is governmentally owned, and they had issues with the name, changed the name. So who knows, maybe the possibility is still there. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then, so what's the one thing, so besides week 1, what's one thing that fans really aren't talking about now that you're just ecstatic for to start going up again? Just football, just coming back, or just that energy?
I mean, look, here's the thing. Again, fans can't get out to training camp. And that's a shame, because I know so many that really just look forward to this, and they make it trips with their families and with their kids. And I remember last year watching some fans would stand out there in the heat all day long.
It was hot. It was really hot.
And you have the players that appreciate that, and they'll try to make sure that they give every fan the attention that they deserve for supporting this team. So, I think the biggest thing we're excited about is, what's really going on now, and what I'm really trying to put into place is to give them as much content on every platform possible. So there's no way you can say you don't know what's going on with the team. You don't know everything about your players, your favorite players out there, and just really bring that connection. And I think fans are eating it up. And again, we know that they're going to be excited about what's to come as well.
Who's your breakout player for this season?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I haven't even really been able to dive deep into kind of looking at it. It's still very early on, but there's a lot of position groups that are up for grabs. I mean, tight end, wide receiver. You have really a lot of places open. Where we just kind of went through the linebackers recently, and I think this guy's due for a really big breakout. Sean Dion Hamilton. We've been talking about him. We've been seeing him for a while, but I just don't think he's found the right footing. And I believe the defensive scheme that's coming in here is really going to play to his strengths, and you're going to be able to see him really kind of step up and have a bigger role.
Are you expecting Bryce Love? Is Bryce Love finally healthy?
So he's looking good. He's out there. He's running. And look, if he is a full go and if he is in games, I mean, get ready, folks. What he is about to bring is going to be outstanding. And he spent the offseason. I mean, he went to school with Christian McCaffrey. And we know how well Christian McCaffrey did underneath, Norv Turner and Scott Turner's system in Carolina. So you can really, I'm not going to say he's going to be a Christian McCaffrey, but you can imagine the opportunities that he will be able to have and the way he could have an impact on the offense.
He could be Ed McCaffrey. So we're going with that. I'll take that any day of the week. Well, this has been a ton of fun. So for people that want to find access to the Washington football teams, the Journey is what you were calling?
It's called The Journey. It's a separate website. You can see the signage coming down. There's a lot of signage to go, but the goal is to get rid of everything from the past and take all those names down, be totally transformed by week 1, and have it be Washington football team. So we can go into this season with a clear name, clear vision, and just play ball. But that's where you're going to be able to follow along with the process and submit what you want the name to be going forward.
Vote for Wolf Blitzers. Everybody watching this, Wolf Blitzers. He'll love it. You'll love it. He'll get to go to the games. It'd be great. I really want to know. It's his real name, which is the craziest thing in the world. It's his real name. I didn't believe it. And then for people who want to find you on social media, how can they find you with these?
I'm Julie Donaldson _ on Twitter, then _ Julie Donaldson on Instagram, and of course, Julie Donaldson on Facebook. People are like, why didn't you just go with like the real Julie Donaldson? I'm like, we're all the real Julie Donaldsons. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you could have that argument. So I just had to, apparently there's a few of us as well. So I just put the _
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Well, this has been a ton of fun. I'm glad. I'm so happy for you. This awesome new role. I can't wait for this season. It's going to be a lot of fun.